holding on for dear frickin' life. He's got his cock! Oh!
Do you have a medical update yet on Pantoja? Do we know what his status is?
Yeah, they popped his shoulder back in. I thought it was the elbow.
I did too.
No, it was not the elbow.
Shoulder?
It was his shoulder. And they popped it back in backstage. And, now they got to do, MRIs and check out the ligaments and see how it is. So we don't have a time frame on how long he'll be out.
It's a great win, and he won that title fair and square, blown away by the performance. I mean, a master class, if you will, but it will forever be dissected and debated whether or not this was the Piryan show or a little bit of a mistake on Merab Dvalishvili's part. Again.
So here's what just happened at this recent UFC card that has everyone talking. We witnessed some absolutely massive shifts where champions like Alexandra Pantoja and the unstoppable Merab Dvalishvili actually dropped their belts, while fighters like Petrian and Joshua Van completely flipped the script with performances that left the entire audience speechless. Petrian specifically delivered what can only be described as a complete domination clinic, stunning fans everywhere. He systematically dismantled Merab Dvalishvili, who had been absolutely steamrolling through the division all year long. And with that incredible victory, Yan successfully snatched back his championship. Following the bout, Mirab became visibly emotional as he delivered a touching message to his supporters back in Georgia. His raw love for his family and deep appreciation for their constant support was undeniable. He reassured everyone that while he did sustain some damage during the fight, his motivation has never been higher. He vowed to come back to competition even more dangerous than before, really emphasizing that unbreakable bond he maintains with his homeland and his people. Now let's dive into Merab Dvalishvili's completely genuine response to losing his title, because this really revealed what kind of person he is. He instantly recognized that Petrian was clearly the better man that night and congratulated him with complete sincerity. Mirab emphasized that his main priority, more than anything else, was delivering an exciting show for the audience, a real barn burner. He was completely transparent about how brutal the weight-cutting process had been leading into this fight. We're talking about an absolutely punishing ordeal, but he was careful to point out that he wasn't offering any excuses for what happened out there. Mirab showed tremendous respect for Yan, revealing that he consciously decided to engage aggressively and trade shots rather than relying on safe wrestling tactics or defensive strategies. And in something that should get every fight enthusiast excited, he voiced his strong desire for another fight down the line, an opportunity to really prove himself again. He famously declared, "I attempted to deliver excitement today, and I came up short. He performed better and congratulations to him, but I genuinely want that rematch. I want an unshot. Making weight at 35 is always brutal for me, and today wasn't any different, but I'm not offering any justifications. I simply tried to put on a show for everyone. I'm happy the audience was entertained. That's what's most important to me. He got the better of me today, and I have nothing but respect for that. In the UFC, I'm just trying to be a team player and provide entertainment value. I didn't want to grapple or play things conservatively. I wanted to stand up and battle with him. He proved he was superior today. But this is where things get interesting. Petrian, however, demonstrated zero enthusiasm for immediately jumping into a trilogy bout with Mirab. He playfully suggested that Mirab should probably take some time to unwind in the hot tub with his crew and really evaluate his options before any future discussions happen.
Сейчас время как бы насладиться этим, но думаешь ли ты, что все-таки трилогия неизбежна?
Я думаю, Мирабу надо сейчас опять посетить джакузи с мальчиками, отдохнуть, а там посмотрим.
You know, I think Mirab should really just get the boys,
jump in that hot tub, and think it over. Petrian wasn't finished with his lighthearted ribbing either. He continued the playful banter. He delivered another perfectly crafted, friendly jab at Merab Dvalishvili, suggesting that Mirab has probably been relaxing in the jacuzzi with his team, just running his mouth and talking trash this whole time. Jan, in a manner that really suggests the power dynamic has shifted, indicated that this might finally be his turn to really bask in the glory and enjoy his moment. He mentioned that he's typically not someone who engages in loud bragging or trash talk sessions. That's just not really who he is. But he felt like in this specific situation, Mirab had definitely earned himself some good-natured ribbing and a few playful shots. It's like he's communicating, you talked your game, and now I get to savor this victory.
I think the total at the end of it, Merab Dvalishvili, was 2 for 29 on takedown attempts. What do you think when you hear a number like that?
Что я думаю? Сейчас, наверное, он в джакузи опять с мальчиками.
What can I say? He's probably in jacuzzi right now with the boys hashing it out.
Не, ну он всю неделю там много говорил, честно сказать.
The whole week he kind of talked a bit too much. I'll be honest about it.
Я думаю, что мое время немножко пришло.
I think maybe it's finally my time for a bit.
Little bit, да?
A little bit.
I'm don't like, болтовни вот этой всей, да, лишней.
I don't like all this blabbering, too much talking. Nah, I don't like it.
And truthfully, when you look at everything, Jan's belief that Mirab earned this treatment really makes sense, given how fighters relate to each other. But moving beyond their rivalry for now, Dana White, the UFC president himself, stepped up to show massive respect for Merab Dvalishvili after his difficult loss to Petrian. White was eager to describe Mirab as legitimately one of the most relentless competitors he has ever witnessed in his entire tenure, which represents incredibly meaningful praise coming from Dana. He also openly acknowledged that despite a somewhat turbulent and challenging start to their working relationship, and we all understand how intense those situations can become in the UFC, White now holds Mirab in complete admiration. The reality that Dana White, who has observed countless athletes, maintains such deep respect for Mirab really demonstrates the Georgian's toughness and unwavering determination.
One of the toughest fighters that I've ever come across. And let's just say, Mirab and I didn't get off on the right foot early on. I have nothing but respect for him and everything that he's accomplished. And yeah, and for Petr to come in and do what he did tonight. And I mean, the body shots and the head shots and the wrestling. I mean, it was an incredibly high level fight that was, what a hell of a way to end the ESPN era.
Talking about passionate responses, Sean O'Malley was completely electrified watching Petrian dismantle Mirab, and it was obvious he was thoroughly savoring every single second of that performance, really soaking in the action. Now this becomes really intriguing, because O'Malley had actually fallen to Mirab on 2 separate occasions, which were definitely hard defeats to accept. However, he also possesses a notable victory over Jan. So after witnessing Jan defeat Mirab, O'Malley subtly indicated that the outcome of this specific bout, Jan dominating Mirab, basically tells the whole story, suggesting it answered a lot of lingering questions. He even jokingly mentioned that the precise moment when Mirab got brutally slammed on his head during the fight might just become his new phone background. That's exactly how much satisfaction he got from watching that sequence.
Oh, Peter cracked Mirab with a 3-2 down the pipe. Oh, Peter Yan with the double leg. Oh, and he's holding on for dear frickin' life. He's got his cock. Oh, Peter with a huge right hand. Mirab's face is beat to all hell. Oh! Peter just picked up Mirab and dropped him on his head. God, Mirab getting slammed on his head might be my new screensaver. And Mirab's still just coming forward like a freak. Oh! Peter just kicks Mirab in the belly. Oh my God, I've done this to him before. If he finishes it with a body shot, I basically did too. Mirab's screaming in there going, ah! Hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Damn, his coach just said we're up 3. You got your ass kicked for 3, but we're up 3. Your face is bleeding, your liver's damn near gone, but we're up 3. You might as well have told you're up 4. Watch your head, brother. Been there. Watch your neck, buddy.
Feeding off that wave of excitement, Sean O'Malley came out of Petrian's amazing victory feeling completely and totally energized. He immediately went public with his clear intention. He's planning to demolish Song Yadong at UFC 34, and by accomplishing that, he's positioning himself perfectly for another huge title shot against Petrian. O'Malley was generous with his compliments, describing Yan's display as one of the most impressively one-sided performances he's ever witnessed firsthand. He even added some comedy, mentioning that if the judges had somehow mysteriously awarded the fight to Mirab, he would have immediately retired from fighting in complete shock. O'Malley praised Yan for finishing the job in such a convincing manner and delivered a clear, unmistakable message to his upcoming opponent and the entire division. Song Yadong is in serious danger next, and Petr Yan is his ultimate target after that. He's gunning for that championship, and he's making no attempt to hide it.
Bro, Petr Yan, that was one of the most impressive performances I've ever seen. Imagine they give Merab a decision. If they give it to Merab, I quit. I quit fighting. Holy shit. Petr Yan got the job done. Wow. Tweet, Song, you're out. Peter, you're next.
In the same vein, the widely respected MMA journalist Ariel Helwani responded with complete amazement to Petr Yan's showing, instantly calling it a masterpiece, a genuine exhibition of combat excellence. Helwani cleverly noticed that Yan appeared virtually perfect during the entire contest, essentially untouchable. By comparison, he pointed out that Merab Dvalishvili seemed distinctly different from his usual, overwhelming style. Most importantly, his trademark takedown attempts weren't connecting with their normal effectiveness. His characteristically crushing tempo decreased substantially, and it was Yan who definitively dominated the stand-up battles, systematically breaking Mirab down. Helwani continued by proposing that several elements, potentially Mirab's rapid turnaround back to competition, the taxing reality of his recent weight cuts, and the built-up octagon time from an active fighting schedule, could have contributed to him looking somewhat compromised. Nevertheless, despite these possible contributing factors, Helwani ensured he gave complete and absolute credit to Yan for his thoroughly brilliant and commanding performance.
Earned win. It's a great win, and he won that title fair and square, blown away by the performance. I mean, a master class, if you will, but it will forever be dissected and debated whether or not this was the Petr Yan show or a little bit of a mistake on Merab Dvalishvili's part. Again, much dissected in its own right. 4 fights in 2025, the decision to come back so soon after the 5-round victory over Corey Sandhagen back in October. Did he take on too much? Too many weight cuts, too many rounds, too many minutes inside the octagon? Was this a mistake, and how much of that came into play here tonight in that performance? Because this was not the Merab that we have seen as of late. Failed many takedown attempts, looked tired, was getting beat up, was getting pieced on his feet. In fact, it looked like he was falling in love with the striking early on. And when I was watching that, I was thinking to myself, could this be part of his undoing?
Meanwhile, at the same time, Islam Makhachev, one of the top pound-for-pound fighters, demonstrated enormous respect for Merab Dvalishvili, describing him as one of the most challenging and most persistent fighters in the entire weight class. He then ensured he gave Petr Yan complete recognition for securing a powerful, absolutely deserved victory, recognizing the quality of his showing. Islam Makhachev specifically stated, "Mirab, you are one of the legends to ever compete in this octagon. Congratulations, Pet. You've earned it." Contributing to the wave of recognition, Umar Nurmagomedov also voiced his opinion, celebrating Petr Yan's commanding victory over Mirab, and boldly predicting that the Bantamweight division is going to become even more intensely competitive. He explained that the next title contender should become crystal clear following UFC 34, where he's personally scheduled to face the dangerous Davidson Figueroa, and he completely intends to make his own undeniable argument for an opportunity at that prized championship. Umar Nurmagomedov added his thoughts, saying, "Amazing, spectacular battle. Congratulations to Pet. I believe on January 24th it will become obvious who deserves the next shot." Fascinatingly, during all of this, Petr Yan paused to look back on his initial championship reign, honestly confessing that he advanced up the rankings too rapidly, too aggressively, which eventually resulted in a string of preventable errors in his training. He revealed that he relied on his natural talents a bit too heavily, perhaps overestimating his grappling abilities. And most critically, didn't have the truly proper team foundation supporting him during that particular period. Now he insists those vital problems have been completely resolved, and he strongly believes he has developed far beyond the competitor he was during that time. Petr Yan opened up about his experience. "I rushed to my first championship and committed numerous errors in my training camp. I had too much faith in my abilities. I assumed I could grapple effectively. Actually, I was mistaken. I recognized my mistakes before those contests. I lacked proper teamwork, and we addressed that issue." On a different but connected topic, Aljamain Sterling, who many recognize as Funkmaster, responded in real time to Petrian reclaiming the Bantamweight title. He extended his congratulations, but it was clear he was also keeping his own title aspirations at the forefront of his thought. Sterling made it perfectly obvious that while acknowledging Jan's outstanding victory, he absolutely still wants to face him, boldly reminding everyone that a future clash between these two competitors is definitely still very much on his radar. Additionally, the iconic Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson also came forward to praise Petr Yan for his incredible persistence and an absolutely elite-level showing. Mighty Mouse, using his expert technical knowledge, emphasized how Yan smoothly and perfectly transitioned between southpaw and orthodox positions, making it extremely challenging for Mirab to predict his offensive moves. He noted how Yan brilliantly capitalized on Mirab whenever his takedown attempts came up empty, taking advantage of those key openings, and connected with accurate, punishing body strikes that gradually but effectively broke down Mirab's willpower. Johnson also made an insightful comment about Jan's remarkably steady and controlled attitude during the entire battle, observing that it made it nearly impossible to determine when he was damaged or troubled, displaying a truly championship-level mental approach. In the end, Mighty Mouse extended his genuine congratulations to Jan on an exceptional and unforgettable display.
Jan looked determined as ever. It's probably the best we've ever seen Peter Yan fight. Going from southpaw to orthodox, keeping a hand in front. Each time Merab would fail a takedown, Peter Yan was right inside the void, throwing some type of exchange, and each time they would end up leaving that void, or when Merab would run away, he would always hit him in the body, and Merab would yelp. I was dying laughing. Merab was like, "Why are you laughing?" I was like, "Watch the replay," and he goes, "Ah!" And sometimes, I've been hurt to the body, but you would never know because you're going to have that poker face. But, Merab's a very charismatic man. So, congrats to Peter Yan. You know what? When I look at the 135-pound division, it just opens everything up.
Demetrius Johnson really stressed that two fundamental elements were completely vital in Petr Yan's overwhelming victory over Mirab: his remarkable cardio and his rock-solid takedown stuffing. Mighty Mouse skillfully explained that Mirab's entire fighting strategy is basically built around landing those constant takedowns to not only control his opponents, but also to methodically drain them throughout the fight. But here's what changed everything. Yan not only defended those takedowns with incredible success, blocking Mirab's every effort, but he also managed to secure his own takedowns when it mattered most. This totally neutralized Mirab's usual overwhelming strategy, successfully using his biggest strength against him and removing his clearest route to winning. It was a tactical clinic against Mirab.
Taking the fight to Merab and also defending the takedown. If Merab can't get the takedown, then his game cannot flourish. He can still beat you, right? Like he beat Corey Sandhagen on the feet, but his game is evolved around that takedown. If he's able to get takedown or wear you down and break you mentally and physically and your spirit and your conditioning, he will maul you. But that's something he couldn't do to Peter Yan. Peter Yan was there every single way, and Peter Yan was not scared to take him down by shooting a double leg, securing a takedown. Merab bellies down and stands right back up. That's one thing both those guys did very well, is each time they did get taken down.
And considering Mirab's circumstances, Demetrius Johnson empathetically observed that Mirab has really endured an extremely challenging year, filled with numerous brutal contests and the constant, physically exhausting reality of multiple weight cuts. Mighty Mouse reminded everyone of an essential reality in athletics. Even the most exceptional, world-class competitors definitely require adequate rest and recovery to sustain their maximum performance and general health. He kindly recommended that Mirab should seriously consider some well-deserved time to decompress, truly enjoy his life, and maybe concentrate on personal priorities outside the intense world of professional combat sports. He even lightheartedly referenced the previous comment, making jokes about hot tub relaxation, a good-natured reference to the importance of unwinding, while ensuring he recognized and respected the incredible, undeniable commitment and dedication. Mirab has continuously invested in his fighting career.
Merab, that's his 4th title defense this year. That's his 4th weight cut this year. This man is always in camp. Guys, believe it or not, doesn't matter how genetically gifted you are, everybody is human and your body needs rest. And like Merab says, he's not making any excuses, but I think doing 4 fights in a year, that is a lot. That is 32 weeks of hard training. 32 weeks. I think what Mirab needs, he needs 10 weeks relaxing, go on a date, get some girls in the jacuzzi instead of the men. That's something Peter Yan was saying I thought was kind of funny. And just relax. He's made a lot of money right now. He's not married. He ain't got no kids. He's got to pay those taxes, get some investments going, invest in that Punk Harbor with his boy Aljo, and just relax and smell the roses.
Robert Whittaker, another complete legend in the mixed martial arts community, also shared his thoughts on Petrian's completely shocking victory over Mirab, and his analysis was extremely revealing. Whittaker intelligently noted that Yan appeared like the peak version of himself, similar to the competitor we witnessed during his dominant championship era. He characterized Yan as razor-sharp in every area, meaning crisp, accurate, and lethal in every aspect of his skill set. He was self-assured in every moment, displaying zero doubt, and proved that he was technically excellent across all disciplines in grappling, submission fighting, and striking. Whittaker particularly emphasized that Yan managed every single challenge presented to him with incredible composure, smoothly handling Mirab's constant aggression. He appeared in every way exactly like the championship caliber athlete he previously was, a genuinely intimidating presence back at the peak of his abilities.
The pure Yan we saw in the octagon against Mirab tonight was, in my opinion, the one we saw before he lost the title to Sterling with that funny knee, with that grounded knee. That's the pure Yan I saw tonight. That's the one that has an answer for every position. The one that has the highest caliber of skill in wrestling, jiu-jitsu, especially kickboxing, and most importantly, putting it all together.
Robert Whittaker expanded his analysis, completely praising Petrian for absolutely controlling the entire battle against Mirab, an accomplishment that is extremely challenging against such an elite-level opponent. Whittaker particularly emphasized how Yan masterfully set the rhythm of the contest, making Mirab compete on his terms. He carefully controlled every situation they encountered, whether fighting standing up or grappling, consistently seeming to be one move ahead. Moreover, Whittaker stressed that Yan demonstrated the most polished and sophisticated version of his already remarkable talents. His showing wasn't simply good, it was in Whittaker's professional assessment, performing significantly above the benchmark for the weight class, indicating a truly world-class, improved version of No Mercy Yan.
He went in there and dismantled Mirab. Didn't slow down a second. Didn't give a single position. Took Mirab down, took the fight to him. And honestly, that was the most clinical, leveled up version of Pure Yan we have ever seen. Like, skill-wise, that fight was so far above the rest of the division.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that Pure Yan that fought tonight doesn't lose to anybody. That was phenomenal, that performance.
The respected MMA Guru responded with complete excitement to Petra Yan's historic win over Merab Dvalishvili at UFC 33, instantly calling it a legendary showing, a truly memorable exhibition that will be talked about for many years. He particularly emphasized how Yan totally controlled the critical championship rounds, imposing his dominance and authority. What was especially remarkable, according to Guru, was how Yan expertly negated Mirab's famously unstoppable pressure, successfully neutralizing his main advantage. Yan showed a talent level that was clearly far superior to what we witnessed in their initial fight. And here's the detail that makes this resurgence even more incredible. Guru also reminded everyone, for those who may have overlooked, that Yan actually competed in their original bout with a fractured hand. This information makes his completely dominant comeback and his showing in this second fight even more impressive and truly inspiring.
Piotr Jan just defeated Merab Dvalishvili in the main event of UFC 323 in their rematch, and the world is good again. Piotr Jan is the world champion in the bantamweight division, destroys Merab Dvalishvili in the last 3 rounds of their fight, and all is good in this world. I'm so happy about this. I'm so happy about Piotr Jan's performance, so happy about this result. I'm foaming at the mouth over this. I can't contain myself. This was a generational performance from Piotr Jan. He shut down Merab Dvalishvili's grappling. And you know what? Piotr Jan said in the build-up that in the first fight he had a broken hand and he was really badly injured and he fought Merab Dvalishvili with one hand. And you know what? I believe him. I believe him. Based on the different type of Jan that we saw in this fight compared to the first one, I absolutely believe him. It was said to be an excuse in the build-up, and it is an excuse, but sometimes excuses are valid.
MMA Guru continued to dramatically describe how Piotr Jan constantly moved forward, blending his crisp, accurate strikes with beautifully timed takedowns, and completely overpowered Mirab Dvalishvili across all 5 brutal rounds. He described a scene of a devastating, completely one-sided showing, where despite Mirab's incredible toughness keeping him conscious and competitive, Jan delivered massive and constant punishment. Guru enthusiastically announced that the Terminator version of Piotr Jan had decisively and clearly returned at UFC 33, ready to reclaim his deserved position. He quoted his own words, saying, "Piotr Jan advances, controls, and demolishes Mirab Dvalishvili across 5 rounds. In a brutal 5-round assault, control and destruction of Mirab's face. Mirab is an incredibly tough fighter, but Jan, with both hands healthy, is simply too much damage. The Terminator has returned to the summit beyond the physical dominance." MMA Guru also intelligently highlighted Piotr Jan's extremely clever and strategic approach of consistently hitting Mirab's forearms with elbows during those tight clinch situations. This crafty yet punishing technique progressively weakened Mirab's power and control, successfully neutralizing one of his most dangerous assets. Guru celebrated this as an intelligent strategic move and an outstanding complete performance that clearly establishes Jan's position among the sport's true elite.
When Merab Dvalishvili tried to hold him against the cage in a body lock, he was he was smashing the forearms of Merab with elbows over and over again. I think that was a massive factor in this fight because Merab didn't seem as strong as the fight went on in those body lock positions, because anytime he got to that early, Jan was smashing his forearms with elbows over and over again and weakening the forearm strength and grip of Merab Dvalishvili. It was a genius game plan. It was an amazing performance. I think he's right back in the GOAT talks, not of the sport, but his legacy picks right back up where it left off here, defeating that Mirab.
To wrap things up, Justin Gaethje, another world-class fighter, also spoke up with strong praise for Piotr Jan's controlling performance over Mirab. He described it as a remarkable demonstration of talent against what he considers one of the sport's greatest competitors ever, which represents a massive compliment from someone of Gaethje's reputation. On his social media account, Gaethje expressed his obvious respect for the entire contest and, more importantly, for Jan's incredible accomplishment. His post was straightforward and honest. He witnessed a performance from Jan that was world-class. Meanwhile, Aljamain Sterling, the previous champion, gave a well-earned standing ovation to Piotr Jan and his complete team for what he called a beautifully executed performance. Sterling specifically praised the remarkably smart modifications they obviously implemented during the contest, which turned out to be game-changing. He then mentioned that he intends to thoroughly study the fight with Mirab, analyzing every detail to prepare for their own rematch. Aljamain observed that several elements seemed slightly unusual with Mirab's showing, adding that it's entirely possible this was exactly what Jan's tactical approach was designed to accomplish. Sterling thoughtfully emphasized the critical importance of healing, ongoing education, and constant improvement in a fighter's extended and difficult career, all while pausing to appreciate the fans for their constant support. Aljamain Sterling's thoughtful statement captures this perfectly. Appreciation to Jan and his team, they competed excellently and made brilliant modifications. I'm eager to review it with Mirab and strategize for the return. Several things seemed slightly different, but perhaps that was Jan's doing. We'll analyze it, recover, and compete again. This represents the path of a professional fighter. I hope everyone appreciated the war.